My husband left with his mistress, leaving me with a debt of $27,000, and then my 10-year-old son said, "Well, let's start over." While I was at work, I received an unexpected email. I immediately contacted him, and Jake calmly began to explain, "Oh, sorry about that, I fell in love with someone else and decided to start a new life with her." Moreover, he told me about his plan to take the luxury car we recently bought on credit under my name. Despite my attempts to talk him out of it, my husband ignored me, abruptly ended the conversation, and became unreachable. In the end, Jake ran away with his mistress, leaving me with a massive debt. As the mother of our 10-year-old son, I could never have imagined that I would end up in such an unfair situation. I was lost, not knowing what to do. My thoughts just vanished. I am 35 years old, my name is Kate. My husband Jake is the same age. We had a family of 3, including our intelligent 10-year-old son, Evan. From an early age, Evan showed remarkable intelligence, reading articles on the computer and asking my opinion on complex matters. But Jake was unreliable, never staying in one job for long. While I worked full-time and worried about our future, Jake had at least maintained a stable income for the past 3 years. Recently, he started talking about how important it was to create family memories, so we decided to buy a camper for $35,000. But since Jake failed the credit check, I had to take out the loan in my name. On the long-awaited day of the camper's delivery, I received a sudden letter from Jake. He wrote that he would graciously take the van for himself since the loan was in my name, and I would be the one to pay for it. In confusion, I immediately called my husband, but all I heard was his confession, "Well, I fell in love with another woman and decided to be with her. At first, it was just an infatuation, but now I want to start a new life with her." He mentioned the divorce papers we had talked about during our last argument, said he would file them, and simply hung up. That conversation was the moment when I truly realized that Jake had betrayed me. A real blow. All my later attempts to call or write to him were useless. When I came home from work and checked the mailbox, the divorce papers were already gone. I was left alone with a huge auto loan debt of $35,000. No matter how much I tried to contact my husband through letters and calls, he never responded. Evan, noticing my unusual behavior, approached me after dinner with concern. "Mom, what's wrong? You hardly eat lately. Are you okay?" "Yes, I guess I'm just tired." When people lie, they look up to the right. "I noticed Dad hasn't been home for 3 days. Did something happen between you two?" Stunned by Evan's sharp remark, I took a deep breath to calm myself. Realizing that I could no longer hide the truth, I decided to tell him everything. "I can't work because of my health, and we have no more money. I don't know what to do." "I see. Then I'll start delivering newspapers, and I'll also look online for a job I can do," my 10-year-old son said enthusiastically. Hearing his words, I told myself that now was not the time to give up. "I'm sorry for making you worry. I can't be weak. I'll change my attitude and do everything I can," I said with a smile. Evan also smiled and suddenly suggested, "Let's figure out how to get the car back from Dad." "How do we do that? The camper is in my name." "Exactly. So maybe we can." Evan suggested an idea that had never even crossed my mind. "But I don't even know where your father is." "Let's check on my phone. A month ago, when we went camping as a family, I got lost. So you and Dad bought me a kid's phone and installed a GPS app that both of you had access to. With it, I can see where Dad is in real time. He moves around a lot." "Seriously? But what if we find him and he just mumbles something and runs away again?" While I was thinking, Evan smiled mysteriously and said, "Don't worry. I've already thought everything through." "What did you say?" To my surprise, Evan had taken action while I was in the hospital and achieved something incredible. "I can't believe such a smart child is my son," I thought, amazed by his words. He had even figured out Jake's mistress. "All right, let's teach Dad a lesson for betraying us." Great. Let's start right now. With my son beside me, I felt invincible. Anywhere, anytime, I thought. 3 days later, I got a call. Hello, it's me. Please help me. Oh? And who might this be? Don't pretend. It's your husband, obviously. The police are questioning me because of you. They're about to take me to the station. Help me out. Oh really? Hold on a minute. I immediately went with Evan to where Jake was. To my surprise, it was a forest park near our house where people camped. Jake stood in front of the car, looking lost as the police questioned him. I felt a little sorry for him, but I sighed and told the officers that we needed to talk as a couple and asked them to step away for a moment. Jake, clearly uncomfortable under their gaze, quickly seated Evan and me in the car. Inside the camper, his mistress sat cross-legged, looking at us defiantly, but I no longer cared. Sorry about all this. Thanks for coming. But why did the police suddenly come after me? I don't understand. Because I reported the camper as stolen. What? Why would you do that? What do you think? My car was stolen. Jake scoffed, thinking that crimes don't happen between spouses. It's not that simple. You filed for divorce, remember? We're strangers now. And you took another person's car without permission. That's a crime. Evan, as sharp as ever, figured it all out. But I didn't steal it. I just borrowed it for a little while. Yeah, but I want to use my car now. So please return it. That would be great. I extended my hand for the keys, and Jake reluctantly handed them over. Once I made sure he gave them back, Evan quietly asked, "Hey, why did you abandon your family to run off with this woman?" Caught off guard by his son's question, Jake hesitated and awkwardly scratched his head. His mistress smirked smugly and said, "Because I'm more attractive than your mom." Look at me. Isn't it obvious? He fell madly in love with me and decided to leave his family. Shut up. I wasn't asking you, old lady. Dad, answer me. Amanda fell silent under Evan's firm tone, but Jake remained speechless. You can't explain, can you? Fine, I'll just call the police back, and they'll take you away. Wait. All right, I'll tell you. It turned out Amanda had joined Jake's company 3 months ago. They felt an attraction to each other and got close at a welcome party for new employees. Later, Amanda found out she was pregnant, and Jake decided to start a new life with her, leaving us behind. Then why did you take the camper? I quit my job, and we ran out of money, but you seem to be doing fine, so you figured selling it right away was a waste and decided to travel instead. Wait, how do you know all this? Remember when Evan got lost? After that, we got him a kid's phone and installed a GPS app. You forgot that it was on your phone too. I always knew where you were. Later, Evan told me that he had pretended to get lost on purpose during that trip because he wanted a phone. I was amazed at how cleverly he planned and executed everything. I suspected something was wrong with Dad, so I came up with this plan to track him. You really are an incredible child. I'll never be as grown up as you. A father who betrays his family without a second thought. Jake, confronted with Evan's brutal honesty, looked pathetic, an adult who had nothing to say in his defense. As I watched my 10-year-old son speak and think so wisely, I felt the full weight of my responsibility as his mother. I couldn't lose, especially when I had to set things right. By the way, give me back the $27,000 you took from my account. That was our shared property. I don't have to return it. No, it wasn't. I had been saving that money little by little even before we got married. You always quit your jobs halfway, and we barely saved anything together. Honestly, I was shocked to learn that Jake and his mistress had wasted everything. At that moment, I felt relieved that I was divorcing him. So you used my car and money? This is a serious crime. I just called the police, so this is no longer just between us. Yes, I agreed to talk, but I have no intention of withdrawing my complaint. I should also add the theft of money to my statement. Mom, should I call the police? I can do it with just one button, Evan said. Amanda, Jake's mistress, suddenly tried to slip away, but she let out a loud scream that echoed around us. Standing at the door were her parents, their faces burning with anger, ready to explode. Stunned, she stepped back as her parents shouted, "How could you do this? Mom, Dad, why are you here? I called your parents in advance." What? Why? While I was in the hospital, Evan went to Jake's office and tearfully told them that his father had abandoned his family for another woman. Amanda's mother fainted upon seeing Evan so sad and frail. People at the office suspected Amanda, who had quit at the same time as Jake, and gave Evan her parents' address. Jake and Amanda had been way too obvious about their affair at work, and there were even pictures of them looking like a couple at a company party. Learning from Jake's colleagues that Amanda used to commute from her parents' house, I saw them standing there, boiling with rage. I approached them with your photo, and they came out, so I told them everything. Today, I contacted them again and asked them to wait nearby. How could you do this to me? Amanda shouted. I don't want to hear that from you. That's my line. By the way, your belly is already big. When is the baby due? In 3 months. Wait, that doesn't add up. You only met my husband 3 months ago. What's going on? Amanda turned pale. Hearing this, Jake finally stared at Amanda with wide eyes. Wait, what does this mean? Are you stupid? You don't get it? It takes about 9 months for a baby to be born. That means the child isn't yours. You fool. What do you mean? Amanda, you lied to me. Ugh, I almost got away with it. You ruined my life. What were you thinking? Jake and Amanda broke into a horrible argument, but no one intervened, letting them vent it all out. Meanwhile, we called the police again to explain everything. As night fell, the forest park was lit up by the flashing red lights of police cars. No, really, I made a mistake. I'm guilty. I'm sorry. I'll work and never cheat again. Just don't let them arrest me. People don't change so easily, especially lazy ones like you. Evan is right. I don't believe you. Think about your actions and take responsibility for them at the station. If they arrest me, I won't be able to return the money. Are you okay with that? That doesn't concern me. You'll return the money after you pay for your mistakes. We'll also calculate child support for Evan, plus the $27,000 you stole. I don't know the total yet, but you will work and pay every cent. Finally, I turned to Amanda. You think you have nothing to do with this? But you're an accomplice to Jake's theft. Get ready for that. Hearing that she would also have to pay if Jake didn't return the money, Amanda trembled with fear. She turned to her parents for help, but they refused. We disown a daughter who brings trouble to others. And so, Jake and Amanda were taken away in a police car together. Thanks to Evan's clever plan, we were able to make Jake and his mistress pay for their actions. They were released from custody soon after, but through a lawyer, I demanded compensation. I claimed $27,000 in damages and forced Jake to pay $500 per month in child support for Evan. I got Jake a job at a subcontracting factory through my company. His child support and other payments would be deducted directly from his salary and transferred to me. I sold the camper and got rid of the auto loan. Since then, my health has improved significantly. I am full of energy and passionate about my work. Evan actively helps at home and with various tasks. I want to move forward with strength so that Evan can follow his own path without giving up.